Yo, what's up, guys? It's FROGYO here, and today I'm going to be bringing you my personal list of my top 5 farming classes for free players in Adventure Quest Worlds. Now, this is my totally unbiased opinion, and I didn't include the member only classes like Paladin, etc., because I want this to be a video for everyone, not for me, and moreover, I'm not even a member currently. So, yes, this is my unbiased opinion. So, if you guys disagree with me, you can kindly let me know, and I'll edit it in the coming future. But um mind you, this video was made on 3rd of April 2018, so any class that comes out after obviously won't be in the video. Now, before I start, I want to apologize because the video initially was top 8, but I had to cut it down to 5 because 8 was just an odd number. So I had to cut it down to 5. So if I make reference to Chaos Slayer, Eternal Inversionist, or some other classes that will appear in the honorable mentions, I'm sorry. Yeah, so without further ado, I don't want to waste more of you guys' time. Let's jump straight into the video. Like and subscribe if you enjoy, and I'll see you guys later. Moving on, we have the Scarlet Sorceress class. Now, this class was released 2 years ago during the Throne of Darkness saga, if I'm correct, and it still is a 1% drop from the Scarlet boss in Tower of Mirrors. But the version that drops is the Blood Sorceress. You just have to be at least level 50 to merge your Blood Sorceress into the Scarlet Sorceress. Now, mind you, the Blood Sorceress is an exact replica of the Scarlet Sorceress, except it has just been seriously debuffed. Like, significantly the damage has been reduced, so mind you when using this class. So the mana regeneration, like all the others, is perfect. This is mana regeneration is one of the factors I consider when choosing farming classes, because if your mana is terrible, what's the essence of being able to hit multiple targets? But moving on, the pros of this class: the class does immense damage. If you can see, I'm hitting 15Ks with my 3 skill and 9Ks with my 2 skill. It also has a DOT which does, I think, about 1.7k, but for only one tick. So the class does serious amounts of damage. That's the only pro. The negatives of this class: it applies the DOT on yourself. So if you're in a glitched room and you use your 4 skill, you most likely die because it applies the DOT, and you know how crazy rooms get when glitched. Then 2, it's a stack class. I keep stressing this: stack classes are not good for farming, because if your stacks fail, your damage reduces, and it's a hassle to keep cycling through clicking your stack skill over and over again, especially when you want to turn in quests. It can be quite annoying. Yeah, that's the Scarlet Sorceress class. In at number 5. Coming in at number 4, we have Shaman class. Shaman is another reputation class, can be obtained for 50,000 gold, and only if you have rank 10 in the Archangel faction. You can get this easily if you farm Gorilla Fans and do the daily. It shouldn't be a problem. If not, you can just use the Super Fan swag tokens to get your reputation easily. Moving on, the mana regeneration. Shaman gains mana in a terrible way. Like, it has the joint worst mana regeneration in this list, which is the warrior way. Your skill, which means virtually means your skills do not give you mana, only your auto attacks do. So if you keep cycling through your skills, your mana keeps dropping without replenishing, which is very annoying. But the ultimate pro of this class is that it's not a complicated class. Simply just press 2 and 3 on your keyboard, bam 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 bam, spam it, and you're doing damage. Even if you're healing, you're doing damage. The class is just all about raw damage, nothing more, nothing less, which is the beauty of the class. And the negative is the mana regeneration. That's the only negative, because each cycle costs 25 mana. So if you do the math, you keep cycling 25 mana, 25 mana, 25 mana, and then the maximum you gain is, I think, 12 mana for every critical hit you hit on your enemy. It just doesn't add up. You're going to run out of mana one way or the other. If you can get a rhythm, you really enjoy the Shaman class. It's a really decent class, especially since AE upped the hydrophobia heal. I remember once upon a time the heal was about 50 and it wasn't a heal over time, but now it's a constant heal over time, so you always stay healthy and always do constant damage with the class, which is why it's up there. Coming in at number 3 is the newest class in this list, the Vampire Lord, Royal Vampire Lord, or Enchanted Vampire Lord. This can be farmed pretty easy for I think 300 tokens. It's a seasonal class, by the way. It only comes around Halloween, around late October every single year it comes around. So moving on, the mana regeneration of this class, it's the Chaos Slayer, Eternal Evangelist, and Troll Spellsmith, and Scarlet Sorceress. Like most of the classes in this list, gains mana relative to health, so you should never ever lack mana. You have no reason to. Then the pros of this class: constant fast damage. Once you use your 5 skill, the rest is history. The class does out constant damage, but the only issue is that if you use your 5 skill, your debuffs do not appear. That is, you normally reduce enemies damage by 50%, it won't appear. You normally increase your enemies damage by 30%, it won't happen. And you normally add a DOT to your enemy, but it won't appear. But all of that is replaced with constant fast damage. That is just the beauty of this class. Just get the job done as quick as possible. The negative part of this class is that, once again, like the Eternal Invasionist is constant damage or reduced damage, but constant output but reduced damage. Vampire Lord is fast output but reduced damage as well. It doesn't do crazy amounts of damage, but it gets the job done fast nevertheless. And all you have to do is spam 5 and 2, 5 and 2, 5 and 2, and you should stay healthy mana wise and health wise. So the class is pretty good for that. In at our number 2 spot, we have Daimon class. Daimon is the only class here that can be obtained for 2k ACs only as a free player. The other way to obtain it is, if you're a member, 50,000 gold you can get it. But this class is worth the 2k ACs in my opinion. It's one of the classes I know that, yes, I spent 2,000 adventure coins. Well, the mana regeneration is only let down. It gains mana like Shaman, which I keep stressing on is terrible. You have to do an auto attack, but unlike Shaman, one of the pros of this class is that whilst you're allowing your auto attacks to tick off for mana regeneration, you have DOTs that can stack going off. So even while you're just taking time to rest, damage is just going off on your opponent, which covers up. Then secondly, all of the skills are AoE. Its heal is AoE, which means you can take credit for anyone you heal skill. So many things. It's just beautiful. It does immense damage. It's just like a blaze binder, that like the 5th skill is just virtually like the blaze binder skill that can miss but it can crit. So if you can see, I'm doing 11Ks, 10Ks, 9Ks with the skill. Is just that good. Then the heals, it has heal over times, damage over times. The class is just built for constant damage to multiple opponents, which is why it's up there. But the negatives, the mana regeneration, that's all I'd say. The only other negative part is one of the effects that comes off the heal, which is called Forever Alone. It increases your mana cost by 10% and reduces your endurance, which means your health reduces and your mana costs increase. So it just virtually stresses the negative issue. But aside from that, the class is very fun, very nice, and very easy to use. It doesn't stack, just does constant damage, which is why it's earned its spot at number 2. And coming in at number 1, we have the Blazebinder class. Undoubtedly the best farming class in Adventure Quest World. Ever since its release and till date, you still find Blazebinders virtually in every single room. the class is just really worth the hype. To obtain the class, you can either buy 2000 adventure coins, which I wouldn't recommend because it's actually one of the easiest on the list to farm. Necromancer class, you can farm in Necro Dungeon, just get a couple of friends to help you defeat the Doom Overlord a couple of times, get to rank 10 within a day. Pyromancer is what is going to waste your time. Just doing the daily 42 days as a non-member or 30 days as a non-member is going to be pretty annoying, but you make it through. But your embassy rep, you can get rank 10 in 4 hours if you just watch my class guide, which I made a couple of months ago. You'll see how you can get, especially times like now with rep boost, you can get up to 2k rep by simply just walking through a room, which is just awesome. Going into the pros of this class, everything is just a pro. Everything about the class, its mana regeneration is awesome. It gains like most of the classes on this list relative to health. Another pro, none of its skills can miss. This class just has constant damage output, so as long as you're attacking more than one monster, I don't think your mana can ever drop below 60, and the lowest it would drop is if you use your 3 skill and your 4 skill. But aside from that, your mana is safe. Another pro, all of its skills apply damage over time, so even if you don't know you're fighting the monster, or even if you are not auto attacking the monster, damage over times have that constant damage, constantly feeding off your opponent and just constantly delivering killer blows to them. The heal over time is amazing. It's about a 500 plus depending on your level, and it takes 3 times, so guaranteed to heal you well. And the negatives, I don't think this class has a negative. Every single thing is just amazing. PvP farming, the only thing I won't recommend this class for is soloing, unless you want to solo a group of bosses at once. If not, Blaze Binder can do everything. If you glitch a room and you use your Blaze Binder, you will see the results. It's just right up there in the list of Adventure Quest best farming classes.